turned out better than I'd hoped. What is up, everybody? Calling all Angels. It is time to talk Wings of the Angels following yesterday's big win for Angel City FC in their rivalry game with San Diego Wave, completely derailing the top team in the league off a game that, truthfully, by the end, San Diego had probably outplayed them. I will say straight up, this was 3 points stolen. This was a match that the Angel City managed to draw a good bit of intrigue early in the match. Like, they had gotten their goal pretty quick. And they did about what was expected. They were expected with their goal average to generate 1.95 goals according to ESPN's, and so they got 2. That's exactly what you'd expect. But San Diego just never materialized theirs, and there were lots of opportunities, including 2 very, very good chances, one off a penalty kick and one going into the last 10 minutes. Angel City was doing everything they usually do in trying to gift a game away. However, it didn't pan out this time. Ultimately, to their credit, they stuck to it and managed to hold on to a shutout. And a lot of that I'm going to put on Angelina Anderson. I am actually going to, for all that of the positives that were happening on the main part of the field with the position players, I think the big statement of success here needs to go to Angelina Anderson. She has stepped up big time since coming back from break, still has not let in a goal since we've gotten back. And it's clear she's trying to give the offense time to cook. So let's talk about this for a bit. I'm going to zoom this out. There we go. I'm going to have to move my thing here just a bit. And a little smaller. There we go. All right. So yeah, we are just going to focus on this one match here. So right off the bat, Gia Corley for San Diego gets a yellow card, and that kind of sets up that they're once again having their slow start. San Diego, pretty well known as the team who is a second half squad. And this just panned out in their favor in Angel City's case, because it allowed Mayara to pick up an unassisted goal off of a rebound shot that Junendo had taken. There was a save, but it wasn't able to get gripped. Lands right in near the right corner of the goal, and Mayara just knocks it in, sliding into the net herself, actually. And yeah, first goal already off and running. It was a great start. Very quickly, San Diego's trying to force something. Pearl Maroney gets another yellow card. And then a few minutes later, Evelyn Shores dumps the ball into Ari Borges, who's playing a little bit up, and she's able to get herself on the scoring charts here. Yeah, so 2-0 within the first half hour. That's what Angel City really needs to do in a game with San Diego, who is much better at making comebacks and really responding after halftime. This one, Angel City put them in a hole to begin with, definitely put the pressure on them, and I think that is what was a major factor later on. Now, later on, we get to the end of the half. Jansdottir gets her yellow card. So there's a little bit of, you can already see the worm starting to turn. You can see at the bottom there, San Diego ends up leading possession by almost a 2-1 margin and tripling Angel City on shots on target here by the end. Their projected goals were about 2.6. So they were supposed to either draw this match, which I had kind of been expecting, or even win it with a third one if the defense slipped up too much. But definitely a lockdown case here. I was reading an interview with Sarah Gordon. She had said team went back to basics here over the break and tried to just focus on getting the fundamentals right, and it's been paying off for them. The control in the box looks a lot better. It has made a much more confident defense, and I'm liking what I see. Later on, as we get to our last 10 minutes, that's the thing. There's still an 80-minute team for some bizarre reason, and Evelyn Shores gets a yellow card early on there, and then there's a foul in the box with about 5 minutes left, and is looking at this like, oh boy, is this where we give up a goal and then an injury time to draw it? Is this where it's going? Angelina Anderson not having it. She shuts down the penalty kick. She had made another big save earlier in the match, just a few minutes before. Like, San Diego was trying to make this into an issue, and Angel City simply wasn't allowing it. Defensive line held off a few scoring opportunities, and the keeper took care of the rest. And so what we see here is a big win for Angel City. What has come from it here is very good news for if you are, like myself here, a fan of the squad. You're hoping for some very good closing action here. Give me a moment. There we go. All right. So let's talk standings here. How does this realistically affect the table? Well, San Diego's still holding first for now. That said, it's now 2 matches in hand with Washington, so that is likely not going to hold for much longer. Portland also has a match in hand, so you've got 2 teams there who are very much primed to take over on San Diego, potentially knock them as far back as... potentially send them back as far back as 4th, because Gotham is now 2 matches in hand, back by 4. So, yeah, San Diego's put themselves in a bit of an awkward position here, where they might find themselves tumbling a little bit in the standings. Meanwhile, Angel City was more holding form. Orlando held in their match. North Carolina didn't, but they were already well enough ahead. So Angel City is still sitting at 9th place. That's where they're going to sit at the end of it with 19 points and a goal differential of +6. However, that's only 1 point behind Orlando, who has a goal differential of +2, and 2 points behind North Carolina, whose goal differential is +4. Meaning, if either team drops points, or both of them drop points, Angel City is playing next week in Chicago for a shot at potentially as high as 7th place. And again, we're looking at a top 6 that have to start playing each other. There's going to be a lot of back and forth in those matchups. You're going to see teams that are struggling to keep up. So, like next week, just looking at Angel City going to Chicago, they have a fairly straightforward match. Whereas you look at someone like North Carolina, they're traveling cross country to Bay. That should still be a winnable game, but it's still difficult. Orlando crossing country to play Utah, one of the bigger squads. Additionally, you've got actual clashes. Gotham and Washington up near the top of the standings going at it this Wednesday. Kansas City and San Diego going at it this Friday. So you're starting to see the showdowns happen, which means more and more you're going to see games go through where the top teams aren't generating points. And that's where the opening comes in, potentially for Angel City to start clawing their way back up the table. As I've said, as soon as next week, they could be back in the top 7. And depending on how the defeats go, they could still end the month potentially as high as 5th place. So there is an opening there. We'll see what happens. Let's just hope they keep on the hot streak. Things have been looking really good these first 2 matches. Seems like the squad is handling themselves pretty well. The match with Chicago should be a victory, but we can't write anything off yet. And then they end the month hosting Louisville, who is playing some of the worst football overall. That one actually, that might be one I go see live. So, been trying to squeeze one in here this go around. So, if that does happen, I will make sure to record some video and see, just get a little bit of the glimpse of the experience so you guys can see it. But for now, that does conclude the recap of the match. Was happy to go through it here finally, but able to separate the recap and the preview. And next week we will be back to live. I am going to be introducing some new bumpers, some channel mascot screens, and also I have finally got some a new background here, so we will not be taking place in the gaming circle during these matches. They will actually be a nice thing in the background. So hopefully you'll enjoy what's coming. But for now, enjoy the matches today. Enjoy the midweek. Enjoy the World Cup. Whatever football you're enjoying. And go Angels. Got 'em.